If you had told me 5 years ago that my marriage would be on the brink of collapse because of Sunday dinners and holiday visits, I would have laughed in your face. Back then, life seemed straightforward. I married the woman I loved, built a life I was proud of, and assumed that with enough love, patience, and compromise, we could get through anything. I never imagined that my greatest challenge wouldn't be a betrayal, an affair, or money problems, but my own family. My name is Daniel. I'm 34, a software engineer, and I've been married to Lily for 6 years. Lily is warm, loyal, introverted, and fiercely principled. She's the kind of woman who thinks long before she speaks, who remembers the smallest things about people, and who will quietly take care of others without ever asking for anything in return. I fell for her because she felt like peace. But peace doesn't last long when my mother enters the picture. My mother, Gloria, is a force of nature. Loud, opinionated, sharp-tongued. To outsiders, she can come off as funny and charming. To those closest to her, especially family, she can be overbearing and manipulative. She's used to being in control, used to having the final say. Growing up, I thought that was just her way of loving us fiercely. I learned, later, that love should never feel like control. From the moment Lily and I got engaged, my mother found something to criticize. "She's too quiet," she said after their second meeting. "Are you sure she's not hiding something? Quiet women are the ones who cause the most trouble." I laughed it off at the time. Thought it was just mom being mom. Lily said nothing. She smiled politely, and when we got in the car, she said, "It's fine. She's your mother. I don't expect her to love me overnight. She gave my mom more grace than she deserved." Again and again. But the criticisms continued. When we bought our first home, my mother complained that Lily had pushed me into something we couldn't afford. When Lily decorated the guest room in muted colors, my mother mocked her taste, calling it depressing and bland. When Lily tried to host Christmas dinner for the first time, my mother brought her own turkey and complained the entire evening about how nothing tastes like it used to. I always found myself in the middle. Trying to smooth things over. Trying to ask Lily to let it go and be the bigger person, because it's just how my mom is. I didn't realize how much I was asking Lily to swallow. How much of her spirit I was asking her to quiet. Then came this year's 4th of July. Every year, my family throws a big cookout. We live in the suburbs, and my parents are just 20 minutes away. It's always been a big event, a tradition. My aunts, uncles, cousins, and family friends all come. It's loud, messy, and usually fun. Lily always came, but she usually kept to herself. She'd help out in the kitchen, bring a dish, smile when spoken to. I knew it wasn't her favorite event, but she never complained. This year, she didn't want to go. "I don't want to go, Dan," she said one morning in late June, over coffee. Her voice was calm but firm. "I'm tired. I'm always trying, always holding my tongue, always getting blamed for something. It never stops." "Babe, it's just one day," I said. "You don't have to stay long. Just make an appearance. It'll mean a lot to them." "What about what means a lot to me?" she asked, and there was something in her voice I hadn't heard before. She didn't go. I went alone. And that was the beginning of everything unraveling. When I came back from the cookout, something had changed. Lily barely spoke to me. She moved around the house like a ghost. I asked her if something had happened, and she just shook her head. 3 days later, she sat me down. "I can't do this anymore, Dan." My heart stopped. Do what? Pretend. Keep the peace. Swallow every insult. Smile through every gathering. I can't keep making excuses for people who treat me like I don't belong. "Lily, it's not that serious." "It is to me," she interrupted. Her eyes were wet. "I've tried, Dan. For 6 years, I've tried to love them. Or at least get them to tolerate me. But they don't want me around. Your mother looks at me like I'm some obstacle you tripped over. Your sister talks over me, mocks my job, and your father just sits there and lets it happen. And you act like I'm imagining it. I wanted to deny it. I wanted to tell her she was being sensitive, that things weren't that bad. But I couldn't. Because deep down, I knew she was right. So what are you saying? I asked. She looked at me, heartbroken. I want to move out. Just for a while. I need space. It felt like the floor gave out beneath me. Are you leaving me? I don't know, she said. But if I stay here, if I keep living like this, I know I'll start to resent you. And I don't want to. I love you too much to let that happen. That night, I sat alone in our living room while she packed a bag. I didn't try to stop her. Maybe I should have. Maybe if I had begged her, promised her things would change, she would have stayed. But I was too stunned, too ashamed. I had let it get this far. Over the next few days, I tried to make sense of everything. I kept replaying every family gathering in my head. All the moments I told Lily to brush it off, all the times I asked her to understand my mom, all the ways I had quietly taken my family's side by doing nothing at all. She had been fighting a war I refused to see. And now she was gone. I hadn't told my family yet. I didn't know how. Didn't know if I should. A part of me was angry at them. Another part was furious at myself. The silence in the house was unbearable. Her shoes were still by the door. Her tea mug still on the counter. Everything was the same, except she wasn't here. I called her the next night. Hey, I said. Hey. I miss you. I miss you too. Can we talk? Tomorrow, she said softly. I need a little more time. I sat in the dark for hours after we hung up. And for the first time in years, I saw my family through her eyes. Not through the lens of childhood loyalty, but through the eyes of a woman who had walked into a minefield and tried, day after day, to make peace with it. Lily had been gone for 4 days. 4 long, slow, echoing days. I kept walking past her favorite reading nook in the corner of the living room, expecting to see her curled up with a book and a blanket. The smell of lavender from her pillow was fading. I tried not to think about it, but everything reminded me of her. The way she hummed when she cooked, the way she left sticky notes with affirmations on the bathroom mirror, the half-finished scarf she was knitting in the bedroom drawer. And yet, she hadn't blocked me. She hadn't shut me out completely. That small thread of connection was the only thing keeping me afloat. I didn't tell my family she had left. Not yet. Because deep down, I knew what their reaction would be. They'd roll their eyes. They'd call her dramatic, sensitive, ungrateful. They'd tell me to stop catering to her. That I needed to put my foot down. But I wasn't a child anymore. I was a husband. And I was failing. That Saturday, I drove to Lily's sister Mia's apartment. I hadn't told Lily I was coming. Mia was the only person Lily confided in besides me. She was younger than Lily, louder, more opinionated. But she had a fierce protectiveness over her sister that I respected. Mia opened the door with a wary look. Dan. Hey. Is she here? No. She went for a walk. Can I wait? Mia sighed and let me in. She didn't offer me tea. Didn't smile. Just pointed at the couch. You know, for a smart guy, you can be unbelievably blind, she said, arms crossed. I know. You let them steamroll her. For years. And she kept quiet because she loved you. But loving someone doesn't mean erasing yourself to keep their peace. I never asked her to erase herself. You didn't have to. That cut deeper than I expected. She didn't say more, and I didn't ask for forgiveness. I waited. 20 minutes later, Lily walked in. She froze when she saw me. Her eyes widened, and she clutched the strap of her tote bag like it was armor. "I'm not here to fight," I said. "Just talk." She nodded slowly and sat across from me, still guarded. "I miss you," I began. "But more than that, I finally understand what you've been carrying. And I hate that it took you leaving for me to see it." Her eyes softened a little. "I thought keeping the peace with my family was a way of protecting us. I didn't realize it was costing us." She looked down, twisting the edge of her scarf. "I just wanted to be seen, Dan. Not tolerated. Not politely dismissed. Seen. And I wanted you to see me, too. Not just when I packed my bags." "I see you now," I said. "And I want to fix this. But I know it can't just be words. So I'm going to talk to them. All of them. I don't know how it will go, but I need to say what should have been said years ago. And if they don't change," she asked quietly, "then I will. I can't force them to accept you, but I can stop enabling them. And I can stop putting their comfort over your dignity." Tears slipped down her cheeks, but she smiled. "I'm not ready to come home yet," she said. "I know. Take your time. I'll be here. And I'll fight for us." The next day, I asked my parents to have dinner at our house. Without Lily. They showed up with a pie and zero suspicion. "Where's Lily?" my mother asked after 15 minutes of small talk. "She's not here. She needed space. From all of us." My mother blinked. "What does that mean?" I looked at her directly. "It means you've been cruel to her. For years. And I let it happen." The room went still. "Excuse me," my sister Rachel scoffed. "She never said anything. She shouldn't have had to." We all saw it. The snide comments, the dismissiveness, the constant need to assert control. "You never treated her like part of this family." My father looked uncomfortable. My mother's face hardened. "I was just being honest," she said. "No, you were being hurtful," I replied. "And I let you get away with it. But not anymore. I love Lily. She's my wife. And if this family wants to stay a part of my life, you need to respect her. Truly. Not tolerate. Not perform politeness. Respect." "So what? You're picking her over us?" Rachel snapped. "No. I'm picking what's right." Silence. Then my mother stood up. "Well, I see how it is. I suppose we should leave. That's your choice. But my door is only open to those who respect my wife." They left without dessert. I didn't call Lily right away. I wanted to wait until I could look her in the eye and tell her that I had finally, truly chosen her. I didn't know what the next steps would be. But for the first time, I was walking toward her, not away. They say love is enough. It isn't. Love is the foundation, yes. But no house stays standing on foundation alone. You need walls, a roof, care, maintenance. You need respect. Safety. Effort. And time. Lily and I had love, but we were trying to live in a house that had been weathered by years of silence, erosion, and overlooked cracks. After my parents left that night, I didn't sleep. I sat at the dining table long after the pie went cold. I kept replaying their expressions, the disbelief, the anger, the wounded pride. But the moment that stuck in my mind was my mother's words, "You're choosing her over us." That line haunted me. Not because I regretted my choice, I didn't. But because it exposed something ugly. The idea that choosing my wife was somehow betrayal. That loving her fully meant dividing myself. And maybe I'd been doing that all along. Giving my family the lion's share of my patience, my defense, my understanding, while expecting Lily to quietly take what was left. The next morning, I went to work, but my heart wasn't in it. I stared at lines of code I couldn't comprehend. I replied to emails without reading them. By lunch, I drove to a park near Mia's apartment and waited. I texted Lily. Me. Just wanted to say I love you. No pressure. I'll be around if you want to talk. Lily. Thank you. I'm still processing. But I appreciate the space. Space. Even the word felt like rejection, though I knew it wasn't. This wasn't her punishing me. It was her protecting herself. And maybe, protecting us. A week passed. Then 2. We spoke a few times. Mostly by text. Once or twice on the phone. Her voice was soft but distant. I asked how she was sleeping. She said, better. I asked if she needed anything. She always said no. And then, one Friday evening, she called me. I went back to the house today, she said. I sat up. You did? I needed to grab my sketchbook. And the mail. I didn't expect to cry in the driveway. My throat tightened. I miss you, Lil. I miss you too. But missing you doesn't fix everything. There was a long pause. Did you talk to them? She finally asked. Yes. All of them. Mom, Dad, Rachel. I told them everything. I told them how they've treated you. And I told them things won't go back to the way they were. Her voice cracked slightly. And they weren't happy. But I didn't do it to make them happy. There was silence again. A heavy one. I'm proud of you, she whispered. I almost cried right there. Would you? I hesitated. Would you want to have dinner? Just the two of us. No pressure. No talks of moving back. Just, dinner. She didn't answer right away. Then, okay. Tomorrow. I cooked. Her favorite, mushroom risotto with lemon zest, garlic butter asparagus, and a chilled bottle of her favorite white wine. I set the table. I cleaned the house top to bottom. Not because I thought it would change her mind, but because I wanted her to feel safe here again. Seen. Cherished. She showed up in a soft blue sweater and jeans. Her hair tied loosely. She looked beautiful, and unfamiliar. Like someone I'd loved my whole life but hadn't really known until she left. We sat across from each other. The candle between us flickered quietly. This feels surreal, she said with a small smile. I know, I replied. But I'm glad you're here. We ate. We talked about neutral things at first, her latest sketch project, a book she was reading, a podcast I found interesting. Slowly, the walls came down. And then I asked the question I'd been avoiding. Do you still want to move out? For good. She looked at her plate for a long time. Then back at me. I don't know. Some days, I think yes. Because I don't want to go back to how it was. I can't. Other days, like today. I feel hope. But I'm afraid to trust it. I understand, I said. And I want to earn that trust back. However long it takes. She nodded slowly. It's not just about your family, Dan. It's about us. How we learned to communicate. Or didn't. How I stopped asking for things because I didn't want to be a burden. You're never a burden. I felt like one. For years. That gutted me. I was afraid that if I made too many waves, you'd regret marrying me, she continued. So I stayed quiet. But silence is heavy. And eventually, I couldn't carry it anymore. I reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. Lily, I regret not seeing you sooner. Not fighting for you louder. But I'm here now. And I'm not going anywhere. Her fingers squeezed mine gently. I believe you, she said. But I need to believe in us again too. After dinner, she didn't stay the night. She kissed my cheek and told me thank you. And it wasn't rejection, it was progress. Over the next few weeks, we started a routine. Weekly dinners. Walks in the park. Shared playlists and short, late-night phone calls. Sometimes we laughed. Sometimes we cried. But always, there was honesty. I started seeing a therapist. Not to fix my marriage, but to fix the parts of me that let it fracture. I learned about enmeshment. About loyalty trauma. About how I'd been raised to think that love meant silence, obedience, keeping everyone else comfortable. I told Lily about my sessions. She listened. Then she told me she had started therapy too. We were rebuilding. Slowly. Separately. Together. One night, she came over for dinner and lingered afterward. We ended up on the couch, talking under a blanket, sipping tea. Her head rested on my shoulder. This feels nice, she murmured. It does. I don't know where this ends, Dan. But I know I want to keep walking toward it. So do I. She looked at me then. Eyes soft. Guard down. Do you think your mom will ever really accept me? I didn't lie. I don't know. But I won't let her define how I treat you ever again. She smiled. A real one. The kind I hadn't seen in months. Good. Because I'm not shrinking anymore. I want to be your equal, not your shadow. You always were, I said. I was just too blind to see it. That night, she stayed. Not because everything was fixed, but because something had finally begun to heal. We weren't at the end. But maybe, just maybe, we weren't at the edge anymore either. Love comes back slowly. But fear comes back faster. After Lily stayed the night, things felt different. Better, yes. But also fragile. Like we were rebuilding something with glass hands. Each step forward felt meaningful, but it also carried risk. We were careful with our words, deliberate with our tone, and gentle with our silence. It was progress, but it was also exhausting. We still lived apart. She kept her things at Mia's. But we saw each other regularly. There were moments where everything felt normal again, like laughing over ramen at midnight or brushing our teeth side by side like nothing had ever fractured. And then came the first real test. My father's birthday. Lily had told me, weeks earlier, that she wasn't ready to see my family yet. Not in group settings. Not where she'd have to play the role of polite outsider again. I promised I would support that. I promised her I wouldn't ask. But then my father called me. Just a small dinner, he said. Your mother promises to behave. We just want to see you. Bring Lily. It's time. He sounded so earnest. So hopeful. And for a moment, I thought, maybe this could be a turning point. Maybe this was my chance to prove to Lily that things could change. That my family was capable of growth. I convinced myself it was the right thing to do. So I asked her. It was a Thursday night. We were watching a documentary on the couch. I waited until the credits rolled. Hey, I said. My dad's birthday is this weekend. Just a small dinner. He asked if we could both come. He said my mom would behave. She turned her head slowly. Her expression changed. Guarded. Distant. Dan, we talked about this. I know. And I'm not pressuring you. I think it could be good. Maybe they're finally trying. She stood up and walked to the kitchen. Poured herself some water. Didn't look at me. So you want me to be the test subject? To find out if your mom is capable of being decent for one dinner. No, that's not. You promised. I know. I miss doing things with you. And it feels like we're stuck unless something gives. She slammed the glass on the counter. Not hard enough to break, but enough to make me jump. You don't get to rush my healing because you're uncomfortable with the pace, Dan. You want me to believe things have changed. Show me. Don't shove me back into the lion's den and ask me to smile while I wait to be bitten. My stomach dropped. I'm sorry, I said quickly. You're right. I shouldn't have asked. She didn't reply. She walked to the door, grabbed her coat, and left. She didn't answer my texts that night. Or the next day. I knew I had hurt her. Again. Not with malice, but with carelessness. I had made the mistake so many partners make, believing my hope could replace her experience. Believing I knew what she needed better than she did. And worse, I broke a promise. That weekend, I went to the birthday dinner alone. My mother didn't ask about Lily. Neither did Rachel. My father gave me a look, a long, disappointed look, but said nothing. And as I sat at the table, eating roast chicken and listening to stories I'd heard a dozen times, I felt completely alone. They hadn't changed. They had adapted, for a moment, for show, but not truly changed. Not in the way that mattered. And I had almost walked Lily back into it. On Sunday, I went to her place. Mia opened the door. She doesn't want to see you. Please, I said. Just 5 minutes. Mia looked like she wanted to slam the door, but something in her softened. 5. Lily was in the bedroom, sitting by the window with her sketchbook on her lap. She didn't look at me. I'm sorry, I said. Still no eye contact. You were right. I pushed. I hoped things were better because I needed them to be. But that doesn't make it true. And it doesn't make it fair. I broke a promise. I won't do that again. You keep wanting me to walk back into the fire just to prove the house is still burning, she said quietly. I know it is. I live with the scars. I walked to the far wall and sat down, giving her space. Then let me learn to sit with you in the aftermath. Let me stop pretending the smoke is gone. I want to build something new with you, Lily. I need you to tell me when I'm moving too fast. She looked at me then. Really looked. I love you, Dan. But love isn't a reset button. This isn't about a single dinner. It's about years. And I need to know you understand that. Not just with words. I do, I whispered. She reached for my hand. Just once. And for the first time, I didn't feel forgiven. I felt accountable. It took losing Lily to realize that love wasn't enough. It took almost losing her twice to realize that healing wasn't linear. Weeks passed. We didn't go back to how things were before, we couldn't. We didn't even aim for it anymore. Instead, we talked about what we wanted to build from here. Not a return to the old house, but a new blueprint entirely. We started couples therapy. Every Tuesday at 6 p.m., we met with a woman named Teresa who didn't pick sides but instead held up a mirror to each of us. There, Lily spoke freely. And I listened, really listened, to the ways I had made her feel invisible in her own marriage. I admitted my blind spots, my cowardice, my need to keep peace at any cost, even when the cost was her. It was hard. Messy. But it was also the first time we felt like teammates again. One night, after our session, we sat in the car in silence. Then Lily asked quietly, "Do you think your mother can ever truly respect me?" I took a long breath. I think she might not. But I also think I can build stronger boundaries to make sure that doesn't matter. She smiled, tired but genuine. That's all I needed to hear. By December, Lily came back home. Not with a suitcase and fanfare, but slowly. A drawer here. A shelf there. A coat hanging beside mine again. She didn't announce her return. She just reappeared. One morning, I realized her favorite mug was back in its usual spot by the sink. And she was humming. Christmas came. For the first time, we didn't go to my parents' house. Instead, we hosted a small dinner with close friends. Just us, some mulled wine, a playlist of quiet jazz, and the clinking of forks on good china. I called my family beforehand. "We'll see you another time," I said. "This year, we're making new traditions." My mother didn't take it well. But she didn't protest. She knew I meant it. Lily didn't cry that day. She laughed. She danced barefoot in the living room with our friend Amelia. She curled into me on the couch and whispered, "This feels like ours again." And it did. In the spring, we started drawing up literal blueprints. A cabin. A small one, near the woods. A place to disappear from the noise when needed. A place we could call ours without history embedded in every corner. It wasn't a dream home. It was a healing space. A sanctuary. As we looked through floor plans one day, Lily said, "You know, I used to think choosing me meant cutting off your family. I never wanted that." "I know," I said. "I just wanted to be chosen, too." "You are. Every day now." And I meant it. 1 year after she left, we went on a weekend trip. Just us. No distractions. No expectations. In a little seaside town, we stood on a pier at sunset. I turned to her. "Do you ever regret staying?" She didn't answer right away. Then she smiled. "No," she said. "I regret staying silent. But I never regretted loving you." I took her hand. "Let's never go quiet again. Let's not." And as the sun dipped below the horizon, I realized something. We hadn't returned to what we once were. We had become something new. And this time, we built it together.